Tragedy struck a young girl of 12 years old named Daisy. Her mother passed away due to a serious illness. Agatha, her stepmother, had come into Daisy's life not long before the tragedy. Daisy's father, Prince, a widower, had married Agatha in the hope of providing a mother figure for his daughter. Little did he know, Agatha's intentions were far from maternal. Few weeks after Daisy's father got married to Agatha, he died, leaving her an orphan. Daisy's life, once filled with love and laughter, changed in unimaginable ways. After the funeral, Daisy stood by her father's grave, who was buried beside her mother. Her stepmother, Agatha, stood beside her, with a cold expression on her face. Daisy sobbed, "I miss you, Mom and Dad." Agatha said impatiently, "Enough crying, Daisy. It's time to go home." As they walked back to their home, Daisy felt a deep sense of dread. The warmth and safety she once knew were now replaced by uncertainty and fear. Daisy sniffled, "Will you take me to come visit them again?" Agatha said sternly, "Forget about them, Daisy. They're gone. You need to focus on your new life now." Daisy said softly, "But they were my parents." Agatha interrupted her, "Enough. Talking about the past won't change anything. Move faster, we don't have all day." Daisy glanced up at Agatha, whose expression remained hard and distant. When they arrived home, Daisy said tentatively, "Stepmother, will you stay with me in my room until I sleep off? I don't want to be alone." Agatha said coldly, "You are old enough to take care of yourself, Daisy. There is no need for such childishness." The chill in Agatha's voice sent shivers down Daisy's spine. She realized that the loving environment her father had tried to create was gone, and she was now at the mercy of her stepmother's whims. That night, Daisy lay in her dark room, and the weight of her new reality pressed down on her. She cried softly into her pillow, and wishing desperately for the comfort of her parents. Daisy whispered, "Mom, Dad, please watch over me. I'm so scared. I don't know how to live without you." Daisy's whispered prayers seemed to vanish into the darkness. As Daisy drifted off to sleep, she clung to the hope that her parents' spirits were watching over her and guiding her through the darkness. The following morning, Daisy awoke to the sound of Agatha's harsh voice. The new day brought with it new challenges and the beginning of a difficult journey. Agatha said angrily, "Get up, Daisy. There is much work to be done. You are not a child anymore, and it's time you learn to pull your weight around here." Daisy rubbed her eyes and said, "Yes, stepmother." Agatha said angrily, "Don't call me that. I am not your mother and I will never be. From now on, call me madam. Understood?" Daisy nodded, "Yes, madam." The next day, the house, once filled with warmth, became a place of sorrow and hardship for Daisy. Agatha informed Daisy that she will no longer stay in her room, because it's too big for her. Agatha told her to pack up and follow her to the visitor's room. Daisy did as she was instructed. When they got to the visitor's room, Agatha said, "This is your room now. Don't expect any luxuries." Daisy replied softly, "Thank you, stepmother. Oh sorry, madam." Agatha said, "Good you remembered." Daisy looked around the room, and her eyes was filled with tears. She placed her small bag on the mattress and sat down, feeling the weight of loneliness. Agatha walked away, and left Daisy alone in the room. Daisy pulled out a small photo of her parents from her bag and clutched it to her chest, and whispered to herself. Daisy said emotionally, "Mom, Dad, I miss you so much. Please give me the strength to get through this." From the very next day, Agatha's harshness began to manifest in daily routines. Daisy's life became a series of never-ending chores and constant criticism. Early in the morning, Daisy was already up and scrubbing the kitchen floor. Agatha entered the kitchen, and her expression was stern. Agatha said angrily, "Daisy, hurry up. You need to wash the toilet before you can eat." Daisy nodded, "Yes, madam. I am almost done here." Agatha inspected Daisy's work, and her face twisted in disapproval. Agatha said, "Almost done? This is unacceptable. Look at this spot. Do it again." Daisy replied while swallowing her frustration, "Yes, madam." Daisy learned quickly that nothing she did would ever satisfy Agatha. Each day was a struggle, filled with chores that never seemed to end. Not only was Daisy burdened with endless work, but she was also isolated from the outside world. Agatha rarely allowed her to leave the house, and cut her off from friends and the small pleasures of town life. Daisy stood by the window, watching other children play outside. She sighed deeply, feeling a pang of loneliness. Agatha's voice called out from another room. Agatha said, "Daisy, stop daydreaming and come clean the living room." Daisy turned away from the window and said, "Yes, madam." Daisy's world became confined to the walls of the house, her spirit slowly being crushed under the weight of Agatha's relentless demands and cruel words. Nights were especially difficult for Daisy. The silence of the house only amplified her loneliness and fear. She often cried herself to sleep, while clutching the photo of her parents for comfort. Daisy sat on her thin mattress, staring at the ceiling. The room was dark and cold. She whispered a prayer to herself. Daisy said, "Dear God, please watch over me. Please let me find some happiness again." Despite the harsh conditions, Daisy held on to the hope that one day, her life would change for the better. She found solace in her memories and the small acts of kindness she remembered from her parents. One day, Daisy got tired of staying at home and facing the maltreatment from her stepmother. She noticed that her stepmother was sleeping, then she sneaked out of the house to her closest friend's house, Favor. When she arrived at her friend's house, Favor was shocked to see her, because it's been long, and Daisy was looking unhappy. Daisy narrated what she has been passing through in the hands of her stepmother to Favor. Favor said, "Daisy, you have to stand up to her. You deserve better." Daisy sighed, "I know, but I don't want to cause any trouble. She's the only family I have left." Daisy's reluctance to confront her stepmother stemmed from a deep sense of loyalty to her late parents' wishes. She feared that standing up to Agatha might only worsen her situation. Favor leaned closer and said, "We could talk to my parents. They might know what to do with regards your situation." Daisy was hesitant. "Do you really think your parents would help me?" Favor said, "Of course, Daisy. You are my close friend, and we all care about you." Encouraged by her friend's support, Daisy considered seeking help from Favor's parents. When Favor's parents came back from work, Favor told them that Daisy was around and needed to tell them something. They were fine with it, and Daisy narrated all that her stepmother was doing to her in her father's house. Favor's parents were displeased about the news, and told Daisy to come stay with them. Daisy went back home very happy. On getting to the house, her stepmother was already waiting for her at the living room. Agatha asked angrily, "Where are you coming from?" Daisy answered fearfully, "I went to one of my friends' houses." Agatha said while raising her hand to beat her, "I thought I told you not to leave this house." Daisy quickly ran into her room and locked herself inside. In the morning, Agatha used the spare key to open Daisy's door. After Daisy received harsh punishment from Agatha for going out yesterday without her stepmother's permission, she decided she couldn't endure any longer. She packed a small bag at night and ran away, seeking refuge in her friend's house. Daisy tiptoed out of the house, and her bag slung over her shoulder. She arrived at Favor's house very happy. Daisy said, "I can't stay there any longer. I hope your parents' offer is still open for me." Favor said, "Of course, Daisy. You can stay with me and my family. My parents will protect you." Favor's family welcomed Daisy with open arms, treating her as one of their own. For the first time in years, Daisy felt a sense of belonging and love. Daisy sat with Favor's family at dinner. The atmosphere was warm and lively, a stark contrast to her previous life. Favor's mother said to Daisy, "You're welcome here. We are happy to have you." Daisy said happily, "Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay your kindness." Favor's father replied, "Just be happy, Daisy. That's all we want." Word of Daisy's new life reached Agatha, who was furious. She stormed to Favor's house, demanding Daisy's return. But this time, Daisy had the courage to stand up for herself. Agatha said angrily, "Daisy, you ungrateful child. Come home this instant." Daisy said calmly, "No, madam. I'm not going back with you. You treated me worse than an animal. I deserve better." Favor's mother came out from her room on hearing Agatha's voice, and said to her, "You heard her, Agatha. Daisy is staying here, where she is loved and cared for." Agatha said furiously, "You regret this, Daisy." Daisy was resolute, "I am not afraid of you anymore." Agatha left shamefully, because she wasn't expecting that response from Daisy. Favor's parents treated Daisy like their child, showering her with love and offering her emotional and financial support when needed. Agatha, who realized that she would never win over Favor's parents because they are wealthier than her, never troubled Daisy again. One day, when they were sitting at the living room watching a program on the television, Daisy said emotionally, "Thank you, Ma and Sir. I feel truly blessed to have you people in my life." Favor's mother said happily, "You are welcome. We will always be here for you." With Agatha gone, Daisy began to heal from the years of abuse. She flourished in the loving environment provided by Favor's family. Daisy always helped Favor's mother, alongside Favor with household chores, and learning how to cook different food. Favor's mother said, "You're doing wonderfully, Daisy. You have a bright future ahead of you." Daisy replied, "I couldn't have done it without all of you. You've given me hope again." Daisy grew into a confident and compassionate young girl, filled with love from her new family. Her story was one of resilience, courage, and the power of love. Thank you for watching. If you found this video entertaining, please consider giving it a like and leaving a comment below to let us know your thoughts. Please, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.